Best episode of Monarch yet. Things are really starting to come together now, and I cannot wait for the final two episodes. What's up, YouTubers of the world? megageekmixer here to give you guys my review on this past week's episode of Monarch Legacy of Monsters. Now, first off, I just want to say I hope everyone had a very Merry Christmas and are going to enjoy a great Happy New Year and have a great 2024 going forward. And that's exactly why I didn't do episode 7, because it was Christmas and I was spending time with the family, because that's more important during that time of the year. But now, having said that, I'll give you my real quick thoughts in the fact on that last week's episode focusing on May and her past. It was great we finally got that, and yeah, see more of that development between Kate and May going on there, and hey, I got no problem with that. But what I don't like is how Kentara's kind of being put to the side, and in this week's episode it kind of defines it even more, making me hope that things will get better going forward. And in the fact on how May and her past and who she pissed off was people who are connected to Apex Cybernetics, that group that was in Godzilla vs. Kong. So basically, episode 7 was just to fill in some plot holes and connections going into what happens in the future movies of the MonsterVerse that have already happened. Now, having said all that, though, we gotta get into this week's episode. Guys, what an episode! And let me just say, this episode, it really had the past and the present really starting to sink in even more than ever before. Sure, we were seeing some little Easter eggs here and there back then, but this is the closest that the past and the present has ever been in sync with each other. And by that I mean in the spot how like they were in some environments that we saw in the past that the present day are now in right now. But we'll get into more detail to it soon. I really want to talk about the real big reveal and stuff and all this, some of which we already knew about, and that is the Hollow Earth, and in the fact on how Shaw tells Kate all about it, and how there's a Hollow Earth, another world down there, and that is exactly why Godzilla's around. He's here to keep the balance, like Dr. Serizawa has always said, he will restore balance. In other words, he makes sure the Titans are not causing trouble around here, and he's keeping the balance of our Earth and the Hollow Earth all in check. And boy, do I gotta say, do I love it so much how it's all finally getting together. I was just like, finally, this is getting even better than before. Mind you, did I understand at the beginning we needed to be introduced to these characters for past and present before things started to really interconnect and everything? Yeah, but now that we're finally getting here, it just feels right. It really does. And yes, finally, we also learn more like the mission that was said about Shaw and his aging. It all has to do with the fact he confirms he's been to the Hollow Earth. And yes, man, I knew it had to be something like that. I know I said it had to do with that radiation we were seeing. The one that he even sealed up in last episode is what caused him to age slowly. And I was not far off. And yeah, I'm not gonna lie, the Hollow Earth was in the back of my head. I just didn't want to bring it out there because I kind of wanted to just stay right there. And that way, if that back of the head theory was right, I'd be like, now we got it. In other words, my expression, I was saving it just in case because it felt so great to know that. And yeah, it also shows us how much. And this episode really shows us how much Lee Shaw loved Keiko with all his heart and soul. Even to the day in the present, he still does. We even had Kate, who had mentioned before confronting Shaw about how she was thinking that he was going to say he's our grandfather. She was thinking that, and hey, it's not surprised. We were all thinking that too. But as we learned in this episode, that's not the case. Nor is the case with the whole thing with Hiroshi being the father of who we thought. And don't worry, we'll get into that here soon. Even still, though, the ending though really solidified as they went back to where Keiko unfortunately or supposedly lost her life. And yes, when Kate and the others went there, they even saw saw the exoskeletons of those endoswarmers. And when I saw that, I knew, we're about to get those guys, and I was not wrong, as we got those guys right as it looked like the explosions they were placing all over that portal were about to go off. Here comes one of them giant exoskeletons, and unfortunately, before he shows up, May, wanting to go rescue Kate, falls into that portal, and then there's that endoswarmer trying to go after Kate, but no, Shaw was not going to let that happen again. He tries to save her, but they both fall in there. Yes, guys, those three are now in the Hollow Earth, where supposedly I'm thinking they're going to find Keiko, because let's face it, while we know in the first episode, Keiko was brought down supposedly to her death, I don't think any of us would, I'm sure we all thought she was dead, but as time went on, we were starting to think maybe she didn't die at all and stuff, because those things came from the Hollow Earth and just surfaced up there. Somehow they went back down there, and that's where Keiko's been all this time. And then there's the fact that I saw an image in a promo of Kate and May holding hands, and they're inside what looks to be something similar to what Lee Shaw was in the past that we'll see in next episode. And they're with somebody. I think that somebody's Keiko. And so, if it is, this means Kate's gonna meet her grandmother, and Lee Shaw will have a reunion with the woman he loved and stuff. Now, does this mean they'll be all lovey-dovey? Nah, I don't think so. But even still, they'll be happy to see each other. But now, having said that, it's time to go into the past here. But before doing that, actually, I also need to mention, I hope in next episode that things get better for Kentaro, because his role's been really reduced, and I have not liked that. I mean, the only thing we've pretty much gotten out of him is that roles are reversed with the siblings. Kate was all like, screw dad, I want nothing to do with this, while Kentaro was like, I want to find my dad. And now it's in reverse, where Keiko's like that, wanted to find out more. Kentaro doesn't want anything to do with this, but he's only staying for his sister. And that's good on him. But since he didn't fall into the portal, I like to believe he's going to play a big role and get in the back. I hope that's the case. But now, like I said, let's go ahead and move into the past, where, yeah, as we last saw, Shaw putting his feelings over his duty has caused Monarch to be in the hands of a bastard. I forget his name, though, but I do know he's racist to Keiko and stuff. And yeah, Bill, he was going to slug him if not for Lee Shaw. Mind you, if I know Lee Shaw, he really wanted to do it himself, but he knew he was thinking about the bigger picture here, because if he had slugged him for that, then they would have been shut down right then and there. And Monarch means something to them, so yeah, Lee Shaw knows that, so he had to stop him, and he gave these guys start to come up with the fact that they need to get some proof here to keep Monarch alive. That's where it comes into that map that has been a plot point device key throughout this entire show so far, and it turns out, yeah, it wasn't created by Hiroshi. It was something Bill Randa created when he was working with Keiko, and yes, we get to see the development here, and you understand why Keiko chose Randa over Bill. And in the fact that scientists and militaries back in those times, they didn't really have the best relationship. They worked together, but would you say that they were all buddy and respected each other? Not really. And even to this day, you can kind of say that's still there, but to a more lesser degree. That, hey, you can see a scientist and a soldier in a relationship and even married. But in these times, that was hard. That wasn't easy. Like, you could barely say if there was any scientist or soldier that were married back in those times. I'm pretty sure there might have been, just not that to degree as we have now. That's just the power of time. With time, do things develop. But all's the same. We also find out Hiroshi was already born before Bill and Keiko ever got together. And she had been working to get him in there. And she even wanted to tell Lee Shaw and Bill Randa, but she was just hesitant due to the lack of respect she's getting out there in America. And hey, I don't blame her on that end. But yeah, to see them get closer and stuff, it was cool, but I still was feeling bad for Shaw. But this is because he's my favorite character. Kurt and Wyatt, they of Killigan. They are my favorite characters in this, and I just wish things would. And I do feel sorry for him. Maybe I don't wish that Keiko chose him over Bill Randa or something. I don't know. All I just know is since Shaw's my favorite character, I just feel bad for him. But having said that, though, even though Shaw was seeing that, he supposedly seems to look like he's saving Monarch when he brought the info of the fact that Godzilla's alive to his general, a general he trusts. Mind you, I forget his name. Sorry about that. And he let him know, and it looks like Monarch's going to be okay now, because what Lee Shaw did might have been the right thing. At least let's hope so, because in the present, with him sealing off things, it looks like it's going to have a bad after effect that might not be pretty and cost a lot of lives. But with what we saw, it looks like Godzilla and the Ion Dragon are going to play a role in preventing that from happening. At least that's what I want to hope. So we'll just have to wait and see on that end. But all's the same, though, that I'm sorry I got off track with it, but about that map and how it all came to Bill Randall and the Hollow Earth theory, how it's all coming together now when we first learned of it in Kong Skull Island, and seeing it here really intertwines things to a new degree of things, not just in physicalness of the Randa kids being in Tim's office that was once Keiko, Bill, and Shaw's working office, and then in the fact on the theory now being more makes sense now in the present. This, guys, is just getting awesome, and I can't wait to see where the last two episodes go, especially since we're about to explore the Hollow Earth there. This promises to be awesome. But in either case, guys, I'd like to know what you guys think. What did you think? Did you enjoy this episode? Do you hope things get better for Kentaro? What do you expect they're going to find over in the Hollow Earth? Is Keiko alive? Leave your thoughts in the comments down below, and like always, you enjoy my videos, all you gotta do is click that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon to be notified when I make more videos, and until then, megageekmixer signing out. Bye!